everyone to the WIN event, where you will be meeting our very special guest speaker in just a few moments. And we have networking going on a little later, so stay tuned for that.
WIN is all about women helping women. We had a former Toastmasters International president who said Toastmasters is all about friends helping friends succeed. So WIN is about women helping women succeed, or friends helping friends succeed, because I feel like all of the WIN ambassadors are friends. And we are here to support each other, to learn about each other's business, to learn more about each other in a personal way, and to help promote each other's business. So it is a win-win situation all around. We hope to influence others, to let them know what we're all about. We network with others to let them know what we're all about. And we support each other and hold each other accountable at various times. If there is something that's on my mind I need to talk about, I have an accountability partner I can call, and I can cry with her, I can laugh with her, or just share anything, and it's held in confidence. So that's what WIN is all about: women helping women and friends helping friends succeed.
I'm Julie Knowles, and I will be going over our core values. And so for WIN, just like Lillian said, we support and encourage each other in an environment that encourages growth personally and professionally. Those go hand in hand. And we promote opportunities that support each other. And we accept challenges, because that's the way that we grow. And again, just like Lillian said, and we maintain that in anything in confidentiality. Our purpose is to support, promote, empower, and recognize the business women of WIN. And our mission in WIN is that we strive to provide opportunities for women to connect with and support each other. You'll see us do that through these networking meetings, through our masterminds with our membership, and then other little things that we'll talk about at the end with Larissa. But we also provide programs that contribute to personal and professional development of our members, meeting their needs in the right time and in the right way. We do that with our speakers and people like Beverly that are here with us tonight. And we also provide opportunities for development, fostering valuable connections, and facilitating member success through business and career growth. It's just a great place to be.
So I'm Theresa, and I'm going to tell you guys what I love about WIN. After Lillian and Julie gave all of those great words about what WIN is, who we are, that literally is what I love about WIN. Like everything they said and more, because as much as we say it's about business, WIN has become so much more than just running my business, learning things about business. It's become a society of real growth and growing not only yourself in that business set, but how to grow mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. We are connected not only in that business, but in everything else we do. Like we literally are helping each other to live better lives, whether that be expanding business, starting business, or closing business, when to move on. We get all of that networking. And I don't even want to call it networking, because we're doing beyond networking. We get all of that connection and interaction and beyond with WIN. So that's what I like about it.
As we go through here, I'll just hit this, Angela, if you want. Feel free to put your information in the chat. That's how we'll do our business cards. And so we usually save that at the end of the evening, and then we send that out to everybody that attended, so we can have everybody's contact information, because again, we want to support each other's businesses. We want to frequent those, we want to suggest them and recommend them to other people. So since we're virtual, that's our business card in the chat.
I'd like to introduce our special guest. So Beverly Johnson is a health and wellness advocate and a motivational life coach who partners with her clients to develop strategies to demolish old habits and embrace a healthy, whole lifestyle. She is an elite trainer and nutrition coach with over a decade of experience in the fitness industry. Gen Fit is a community of women who recognize the need to reclaim their lives and are emotionally ready to do the work. She named her new motivational fitness business Genesys Fitness because it signified a rebirth for the often forgotten woman, the divorcee, the caretaker, the empty nester. Gen Fit believes self-care takes priority over caring for others because it is in caring for ourselves that we make the best caregivers. We believe that by helping women rediscover who they are after suffering a loss, she will be empowered to become her ideal self, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Boy, are you all in the right spot today. I know it's for me, for sure. Recognized as an elite trainer, Beverly has specialties, in nutrition coaching, senior aging fitness, and dance fitness. She has become a contributor to Swagger magazine as their resident health and wellness coach. She has also provided content to Sheen and Bronze magazines, respectively. She is an active member in the Huntsville alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Earlier this year, she was recognized by Kish magazine as one of the top 30 women on the rise in Huntsville, Alabama. In addition to being an Army veteran, Beverly Johnson holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from A&M University and a master's degree in management with a concentration in human resource management from Florida Institute of Technology. And she currently resides right here in Huntsville, Alabama. Will you please put your hands together for our very special guest, Beverly Johnson.
Well, thank you so much. Is my volume okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to tell you first and foremost, in the write-up, when it refers to the she discovering herself, her life, and her passion, the she was me. So it was not me in regards to someone else. The she that it was referred to was me. Because during this course of life, I am a divorcee. I finally had to admit I was in a dysfunctional relationship and had a divorce. I was diagnosed with endometriosis. So there were the treatments and the surgeries with all of that. And so somewhere along the way, I can't even say I forgot who I was. I didn't know who I was, because when you're defined by being someone's spouse, then if you're not careful, you're defined by your illness. Then you're defined by your job. So on certain levels, I never really knew, well, who was Beverly? Because the standard thing is you go to college, you graduate college. When are you getting married? You graduate college. You've graduated college, you're married. When are you having kids? Okay, you have the first one. Okay, I need more grandkids. Because even one day I was sitting on the couch one day and my mom was like, I need grandkids. And I'm like, and I want a trip to Europe, but I don't see you chipping in. And that killed the whole conversation. I said, and I want a spa day, and I want you to call me and cook for me, and I want you to do my laundry, and kill the whole conversation. Because if we're not careful, we are defined by the expectations of others. So along the way, in that whole write-up, I was talking about myself. That in being the caregiver, because my parents have gotten older. My dad is 72 and decided he wanted to buy a motorcycle. My mom is 70 and she's in the school pickup line because she likes to go pick up my niece every day. And it's just like, why are you in the car line? And she's like, I just enjoy doing it. But then she complains about doing it. And so I'm in that space where sometimes I feel like I have become the parent where I'm like, Dad, why are you okay? So why did you buy a motorcycle at 72? He's like, I just always wanted one. Okay, got it. So when we're talking about those dynamics, these are things in my business that I have lived. But like Wendy Williams, but enough about me. When we talk about holiday fitness, on average, you can just use your fingers. How much do you think the average person gains during the holiday season? I see 10. On average, it could be between, and Angela and Theresa's right, it can be between 1 to 10 pounds over the holiday season. And I really started thinking about, okay, in the fall, what starts happening? We have football season. It starts getting colder. Right now, starting in October, it kicks off a holiday every month between now and February. So now you have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas parties, holiday parties, parties for your kids at school. You have parties. And if you're not careful, all those things will sneak up on you. But what I've grown to realize is that nobody intentionally sets out to say, you know what, come to October, I'm just going to throw all my efforts away. I'm just going to, all the hard work that I've done between January and October, I'm just throwing it away and may it falls how it goes. But then I also started thinking about that when it becomes September, October, we lose our goals, because January, you start out thinking spring break's coming, summer's coming. I got to look cute because it's a reunion coming up. I have vacation coming up. You have something to look forward to in the summer. But when we get to the fall, there's not really a lot to look forward to, because again, show of hands, who decides in October to set up a new weight loss program? Nobody. Because it's that time of year where most people are like, well, if I hadn't done it by now, I'll just wait to January. Because what's the point? Because it's who wants to be the one that sits up at Christmas and goes, excuse me, is this low fat? Is this vegan? Is this gluten-free? And your grandmother will throw a plate at you. Because it's that time of year where it's like, I have been on the course the whole year. I've stayed on track, because in my family, food is love. Food reminds me of a time of the year where if I walk into my mom's house and there's a certain scent, I know, okay, grandma used to make that. Okay, I remember that scent, because the scents bring you back. Or you start thinking, okay, right now, if my mom makes this, that means the Charlie Brown Christmas tree special's coming on, and I get to watch the Charlie Brown Christmas. Oh, wait, it's October. I get to watch It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, because everything has a memory. So when we get into this holiday season, we start thinking about the memories that come with the food. I had a coworker where she says she's been making popcorn balls for 20 years. Her kids are grown and gone, but they still want to come over on Halloween and get a popcorn ball, because that's a memory. So when we start thinking about weight loss during the holiday season, there are multiple things that impact all that. So it's not always a cut and dry, because when my grandmother was still living, for her, if you didn't eat her food, she got offended. If you walked in and was like, well, grandma, I really don't want to, like, what, you don't like my food? You don't like my cooking? Is there something you don't like? It's like, no, see, I had a big lunch and I'm just not hungry. So you saying you don't want to eat my food is why you had a big lunch? No, I'm not saying that. I was just saying that, you know what, give me the plate. Just give me the plate, because I don't want to do this with you. So when we're looking at the holiday season, there's a lot of things. And when you look at it, it's not really your fault, because we don't plan to go into the holiday season to say, you know what, it's my Christmas break. I'm gonna get up every day. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna make sure I stay on my calorie count on Christmas Day. Who does that? Who sits and gonna go, okay, you know what, based on my fitness tracker, it says today I've had X amount of calories. So for Christmas Day, I'm not gonna eat them all. Nobody does that. So what we're going to talk about is how you can kind of on the slide manage that without anybody getting offended. Now, when I show you y'all these, don't sit at the kitchen table like that's a cup, that's a tea. Don't do that in front of nobody. But one thing that helps me is that I choose portion controls. And one thing that I do when I get ready to eat is that I use a smaller plate. Because I remember one holiday season, I sat next to this lady and she had a platter. And even the men looked over like, is she eating on a platter? And we were like, yep, she's eating on a platter. Why is she eating on a platter? And then when she finished all her food, someone says, did you want some cake? And she said, no, thank you. I'm on a diet. And the whole room stopped and went, the lies you tell. You ate off a platter. You just said you don't want cake. And the whole room went, huh, and went right back to talking. So one thing that I do is that I use a smaller plate, because in that way, I don't feel the temptation to go for broke. And I also, when it comes down to the meals, because especially if I know I'm going to multiple houses, I'll get, I have the big spoon that we normally serve out of. That is like a quarter, a third cup. So I know one spoon is like a quarter cup. So I'll just go, if I know I'm getting ready to go house crawling, holiday crawling, I'll just do small cups. Look, I call them little blaps on my plate, just blop. And then I'll just get a little, basically I'm taste testing. Because if I know I'm going to hit the road, I can't afford to get full, because the in-state is like my grandma's house and I don't want to get yelled at again. So I go with a smaller plate and smaller portions. So then that way I'm satisfied, but I'm not full. So those are things that I had to start navigating, where even though it may be Thanksgiving Day, it may be Christmas Day, I don't starve myself the whole day getting ready to eat. Because I would do that at one point. It's like, okay, we're going to eat. So I'm skipping breakfast. I'm skipping lunch because I want to make sure I'm ready for the prime time. And then I would go for broke and I would get sick. And the whole afternoon, my family's on the couch like, oh God, is that pie? And so I had to learn, okay, eat a small breakfast, just enough to take the edge off. And then when I start my holiday crawl, get a smaller plate and get smaller portions. And don't forget to drink water. Because I found out when I do that, that gives me a space to appreciate the host who I'm visiting for the holiday, as well as sample the goodies, because it runs in my family that we are grazers. So we won't eat a full meal, but we'll dibble, we'll dabble, and we'll eat a little. So that's how I came up with getting a small plate. And so even when I go visit people for food, dinner, I prepare my own plate. So that out of courtesy, I can get what I want. Because one time, and I pray y'all never put in this position, where two older ladies had made banana pudding and they both put it on my plate and said, who's the best pudding? I'm like, and so what I did is that I scrambled them both together, because I couldn't handle the pressure of it all, especially two older ladies looking at me like, you better tell me who has the best food. So I learned then to prepare my own dish. And so you have smaller portions. Make sure you drink your water. Use a small plate. And also, when we're in this holiday season, I know a lot of times emotions are attached with the holidays, that some people are also struggling during the holiday season, where if you've had a loss of a loved one, you may be grieving, you may be experiencing seasonal depression. So those are real things that also impact your holiday eating. I had one client where she was just in her feelings one day and she ate a whole cake. And I was like, so when you say cake, are you talking about a little Debbie? And she said, no, I'm talking about a pound cake. She ate a whole pound cake because of what she was going through. She ate a cake for dinner. And so in that city, just ballparking it, she ate 2,000 calories for dinner. As a woman, that's how much you're supposed to consume in a day. But she was grieving something. So I'm not naive to the fact that if in this holiday season, it does elicit a lot of hurt. It elicits a lot of trauma. So if you are in that space where you feel that coming, I encourage you to please go seek help. There is no shame during the holiday season that if you need someone, because that's a real feeling. Because I have friends that are grieving the end of relationships, the missing of a parent or a loved one. And in this space, we use food to cope. Because no one criticizes you if you go buy a bunch of food. No one criticizes you if you go to Publix and get all the party platters and think, oh, she's just having something. But they don't know that you're hurting. And that is the way you're coping. Because, hi, I'm Beverly. I'm an emotional eater. And after my divorce, that is how I cope with life. Sister Schubert Rose and I were in a profound relationship for several years. She was good to me. And she was so good to me that I gained almost 30 pounds. I gained over 30 pounds. So Sister Schubert, her love hurt. And it took me going to the doctor to realize that I gained 30 pounds. And that meant that I had checked out of my own life because I didn't know how to process the grief of a divorce and starting over. So my love affair was with food. So I understood that holiday season because sitting there by my first year by myself post-divorce, it was like, what do I do? I didn't have the tradition of going to see my in-laws. I didn't have the traditions of them family coming here. It was just like, what I do. And Sister Schubert was like, and I was like, well, hey, Sister Schubert Rose, let's get together. And so during this holiday season, be mindful that if you feel yourself gravitating more and more towards food, take a minute to figure out what's the trigger behind it. And it could be because during this season, you're remembering a loved one or a memory attached to that food. So as promised, because I know I'm running out of time, portion controls using your hand. Now, do not at the dinner table with all your family members do this. Please don't. Because I don't want a message where you got talked about and they drug you to filth for doing this at the dinner table. So this right here, the front of your fist is about a half a cup. So do not sit at the dinner table, ha, half a cup of potatoes, ha, rice. Don't do that. So this is a half a cup. A clenched fist is about a cup for a serving. So half a cup, cup. Now I can see Angela this week and she's gonna be at the Thanksgiving table. Half a cup, cup, half a cup, cup. Don't do that. Don't do that. So half a cup, cup. The palm of your hand is the standard serving of a meat, which is about 3 to 4 ounces. So if you wonder how much of a portion should I have, it's the inside of your hand. So you can have a half a cup, in the palm of your hand. That's normally your guide. You saw that in sync move? You saw that? Y'all saw that. Now the thumb right here, this little portion right here is about 2 tablespoons. So if you're wondering like how much is a dollop, it's about 2 tablespoons. And the tip of your finger is how much you for butter. Now I can't speak for other demographics, but in Black people's households, a splash of butter is about that much. Whole stick of butter gone into the rice. And you just like, where the rest of the butter at? So I told my mom that, she was like, what? Shut the front and the back door. I was like, no, really, mama, that's a stick of butter. You just need right here. So do not, again, be at the dinner table doing that. Kind of on the side, do it. Because I don't want your family members going, what is Lillian doing over there? She look like she's doing a bye. So just for rule of thumb, when I said I go visit family members to eat, this is normally the portion I put on my plate. which is like a half a cup. So I will make my little sample platter of a half a cup, and the inside of my palm, butter, 2 tablespoons. So that is how, when you're on visiting family members, your guide to kind of how you measure, because so far that's worked for me. So again, that way when I visit family, I don't seem disingenuous about eating. Now there are family members I can't eat at their house. I'm not going to. I had a caramel cake experience at somebody's house, and we just had to take that one off the books because I'm not eating at her house, and I just drink water. But if you're going to see your family members and you just want a little metric, and they say, would you like something? I say, I don't want a lot, a half a cup. Well, give me a little more, a cup. Or would you like some chicken? I sure would. Some butter, not the stick, butter. 2 teaspoons right here. And that is your guide. You can kind of stay that way. You can remain courteous as a host, as a guest, and still kind of, when you're going when you're house hopping, you can still kind of stay on your level. And also, before I end, if you know you're going to want a sweet, kind of make a trade-off on whose sweets you're going to get that day. So I have family members that I know they're going to make a certain thing. I risk it all to go to their house. I'm like, you know what? There's a cake waiting on me. I'm just going to hold off and gauge where I'm going, because when I was in college, my grandmother had a friend, Miss Pugh. She knew I love macaroni and cheese. And for Christmas, she made me a full pan of macaroni and cheese. And I love her to this day for that. And she said, now, baby, don't share with nobody. And I said, it took me 5 days to eat that tray. And I was like, I'm so tired of eating macaroni and cheese. But Miss Pugh said, I can't share with nobody. So I'm like, so I got a pan of macaroni and cheese. I cannot do that in this season of my life. I will be at the hospital. I can't do that. But understand, you can still enjoy your holiday season, but stay kind of on the low and manage your portion control. Because again, it's about enjoying your family. It's about having good fellowship. And if there is one meal you want to risk it all for, pick that meal. You can't risk it all the whole day. But if there's something that you really want to enjoy, kind of gauge how you're going to eat that day. It's like, okay, if I know she makes a divine red velvet cake and I plan to enjoy that. So let me figure out what I got to do to enjoy it, because one day will not derail you. I'm not even going to tell you on average how much people consume on a holiday. So we're just not going to talk about it. So just on the day, enjoy yourself, but be mindful of what you're going to do. And that's it.
Beverly, that was so good. You are so funny.
Thank
Let me
you.
see if I can change the view real quick here. There we go. That is very clever. The tips that you gave us, I'm definitely going to use that, and I will be very careful. I'll do it under the table.
That's what I do while I'm waiting in line, while everybody's going through the food line. I just kind of go, okay, this, okay, this. There's ooh, I'm gonna risk it all. Never mind, throw all that away.
So tell us a little bit more about your business. I know you have a fitness business. Can you share a little bit about that, please?
Oh, yes. I started out as a Zumba fitness instructor, still am, but that was my first introduction to fitness. And after class, people were asking me questions about different things and exercises, but I didn't feel comfortable presenting that type of information without the background. So I went back and I started my journey getting my certifications. My first certification was a certified personal trainer. And over the years, I've added based on what I would see that people needed and what I needed. Because you haven't lived until you're in the middle of class and some lady goes, do you know what this is? You're like, I don't. I sure don't. But could you not show me that? But it's one of those that she trusted me to give her the information. So over the years, it has grown from just not only teaching fitness, but really developing a coaching aspect to figure out, you got here, but how do we get you there? Because everybody has a story. Everybody has a thing. And my tagline has always said is more than just exercise, because in your process, that's actually the last step. The first step is getting you prepared to make the changes, where if I sit down with someone and she says, well, I said, well, you know, in order to do this, what are you willing to sacrifice? She goes, nothing. Well, there is not a lot I can do. Because I had one prospective lady, she fought me tooth and nail. She was like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing this. And I was like, well, when you're ready, call me, because with change comes a loss. And it's not always a bad thing. It's realizing that in order to become the best version of myself, to be there for my family, for my friends, for my job, I need to be mentally, spiritually, and physically whole to do the things that God has called me to do. And that's just a tenet that I've grown to for myself, that in order to do the things that God has called me to do, I need to show up and be sound enough to handle what he wants me to do. So that's the tenet. The thing that I operate off of is the tenet that shows up in this world.